Hi, and thanks for tuning in. This is the Learn with John Ike channel. I'm going to go through a Google Sheets are the answer session. It's a rock solid session of all the things that I like to teach about Google Sheets. But the reason I make this video is that I go pretty fast in my session. You might want to then jump back to this video and see how some of these things are done. So when people get to the session, the first thing they're going to do is fill out this Google form. That way we get some data on our spreadsheet. My name's John. I live approximately 10 miles from here. My favorite state to visit is Alaska. Now we got some data inside of a Google form, and we can get rid of that thing. And it says, hey, click here to make a copy of this spreadsheet. So I'll click there. It'll say, you want to make a copy? Well, of course I do. I accept everything on the internet. Okay, the first section we're going to do is on color. You're coloring the cells, right? So it says, color these in the appropriate color. So her name is Rose. Her name is Summer, right? Her name is Autumn. So we're just filling in colors. You don't know how to fill in colors, just use this little paint bucket and you're good to go. I don't even know what color ginger is. I guess it's brownish. All right, cool. You do the same thing there. You can also fill in a column by clicking on the letter, and you can also do a row by clicking on the letter. Okay, next step. That was how to change colors. Let's talk about viewing the data. We're going to name a tab, color a tab, and scroll around. Let's take a look. There's a tab right there. We name it by clicking on it, rename. We can color a tab. We can scroll up and down. Hey, what happened to the header right there? Well, if we want the header to freeze, we just go up this line, drag it down there. Now we got ourselves a header. Another way to do that is to click on the row and to say view freeze the first row. You do the same thing with columns, right? View freeze column 1. Now it stays there. Super cool. Next, we're talking about adjusting the column. Sometimes you can't see people's email address because they're too long, so you can just drag the column. Or if you just double click on the column, it'll make it the appropriate size. Next thing we'll do is we'll sort by A to Z. So hey, I want to sort by first name. So I click on that little drop down arrow and say sort the whole sheet by A to Z. Now look, this guy's last name next to his first name. Sort by A to Z. We can go find him again. Make sure you still got the same first name. We also sort by the numeric value, ascending or descending. Kind of show you how to create a header by merging some cells and fill in some color. Let's take a look. So I want to create a header up here. I'm going to right click up here. I'm going to say insert row above. I'm going to grab like a bunch of these cells and I'll merge them together. And let's say this is the header. It's kind of nice because you can then center text over a whole area, maybe give it a little bit of color, and you can change the text color, and all of a sudden you got yourself what looks like a header. Here's how you unfreeze the header, right? You can just take this bar, drag it back up, take this column bar, you can drag it back over, and now we're just no header, regular old sheet. Let's duplicate the tab and do a couple of things. So I want to take this tab, I want to duplicate it. Now we have a copy of it right here. You can do all kinds of manipulation of that and not affect the first one. Let's see, we'll add rows, add columns, we'll start moving things around. Say you wanted to add like 5 rows. Highlight 5 rows, click on it, it says insert 5 above or insert 5 below. I'll put 5 above. Same thing with columns. Insert 2 columns to the left, insert 2 to the left. Okay, super easy. Maybe I want to move some columns around. Say, you know what, I really want the email up first. And then you just move columns around. You do the same thing with rows. Say I want to drag these around. There you go. Conditional formatting is kind of cool. I'll show you how this works. Let's go sort by GPA. Let's highlight this column and tell them, hey, look, we're going to format conditional formatting. I want to say, look, apply to this range if the cell is greater than 1.9. Make it bigger than that. Let's make it to 2.4. Give them a green, right? But let's add another rule, okay? Second rule, if the cell is less than 2.4, 2.4, then make it red. Good. Now we can see who's above and who's below. All right, let's jump over and talk about autofill. This is a really cool tab here. A couple different autofills. There's sequencing. So if you have 1, 2, 3 already dialed up, and you start to highlight all of them, then grab the magic blue box and drag down, it'll keep counting for you. It does it with dates. It also does it with, if you're counting by 2s or by 5s or by 10s. Google recognizes. But then what if you have, all the same thing? Or you can just grab one cell. It'll just automatically duplicate. So if I wanted 20 from here on out, it would take 20, right? But if I grab the whole sequence, that's when it counts. Let's think about math formulas. These are really cool. Each cell wants to equal something, so I put in parentheses up here examples like, hey cell, you equal the number 5 plus whatever's in column F, row 3. So you equal, just take that, copy it, paste it. So you equal 5 plus F3. So 5 plus 1 equals 6. But now if I drag it down, it's going to add itself to this cell. Then it's going to add itself to this cell. So what's really nice is when you drag it down, it recognizes you don't want F3 anymore. You want F4 and F5. So here I go. It's really nice. Just drags these down. So same thing. Do with multiplication, right? Say, hey, you equal 5 multiplied. And I just click on the cell I want. And now that it knows F3, it knows F4, it knows F5. Oh, interesting, right? This times 0 is 0. Cool. Let's look at some text formulas. You ever done one of these? You got a spreadsheet of kids and they had the last name, comma, first name, but you wanted their first and last. Here's a formula called split. Hey, cell, you equal split. Open parenthesis. Split this guy. So, hey, cell, you equal split, open parenthesis, split whatever's in J3. Well, what do you want to split by? You want to split between the first and second letter? You want to split between the two words? Hey, comma. I want to split whatever's inside these quote marks. I want to split by comma, space, unquote, and then end the parentheses. So, hey, cell, you equal whatever this is, split it wherever there's a comma and a space. And there it is right there. When I hit return, it splits them out, like John. And I can drag it down. And now I said, well, gosh, what I really want is their first name and their last name. Okay, great. Hey, cell, you equal, click on there, K3, and, quote, little space, quote. So, cell, you're going to print whatever's in K3, and then you're going to print a space. Oh, I shouldn't do last name first, huh? I see whatever's in K2. There we go. And a little space, and whatever's in K2. So there it is. Hey, cell, you equal last name and space and first name. Or, you know what I mean. First name, last name. I can drag it right down. Pop, pop, pop. There you go. You can do a whole spreadsheet in just a couple of minutes. All right. So those are some of the formulas. Let's use some formulas to do some real work here. So let's go over here and look at these numeric formulas. Okay, so what do you see? I put a sum, an average, and a count because those are a couple of formulas that are super available to you. So look, I got a bunch of numbers here, and I got an empty box here. So I could type in there, hey box, you equal the sum, open parenthesis, and you drag across these guys and close parenthesis. There's your sum. Super easy. You can even do it across. Like, so you can go, hey cell, U equal the sum of, let me get it, I'll drag some of these, some of these, comma, some of those, comma, that one, comma, and that one, right? End parenthesis, and that's the answer. What's really cool is if I were to get here, I go, what is this adding up? Double click. Oh, it's adding these up. Got it. It's even got them color coded. Now, a really easy way to do this also is if you really have a simple little cell like that, you just grab this guy, and right there you go, function, sum. Sum what? Sum this. Hit enter, right? Same thing. Grab this box, go over here, average. Average what? Average this guy, right? It does it for you. Count. How many people entered a comment? Let's find out. Count. And 7. So look at the formulas. It's just cell U equal average, parenthesis, the range, unparenthesis. Cell U equal count, parenthesis, range, unparenthesis. Super simple, super powerful. Let's create a data table based on a Google form. This is kind of slick. So remember, I had everybody take a Google form when they came into the session, and this was everybody's data. This is their names, how far they traveled, and what's their favorite place to travel, right, on a trip. So I created this little data table. I just pasted these words here, and I pasted the answers there. I said, hey, cell U equal count if. This is so cool. Hey, cell U equal count if, parenthesis. Well, it says, hey, go grab the range. What are we counting? Oh, well, we're counting in the column that says approximately how many miles are you away from home. So I just click on the form response, and I click on approximately. Hey, cell U equal count if in this range, comma, and it goes, oh, well, so what you need next is the criterion. What are we counting? Oh, we're counting this answer, 10 miles, on parenthesis. Hey, cell U equal count if, over there on that response sheet in column C, anybody answered this question with this exact response, which since it was multiple choice, that would be a natural response. So there it is, and we hit return. If 4 people did, well, let's find out all of them. It just drags it down, pop, 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 and there we go. We can kind of look over there and go, oh yeah, that's true. Look at that, right? So we can do the same thing with creating a percentage of total. This is just some simple math, right? We go, hey, cell U equal the number 4 divided by what? Well, divided by the sum, open parenthesis, of all of these, right? Unparenthesis. So it says to me that 57% of the people are 10 miles away, which is super slick. Now, the next time somebody clicks on the Google form and leaves an answer, that'll turn to 5 and it'll change the percentage, right? So I like to grab this then and go, hey, I don't want this ugly decimal. Could you make it a percent? Could you make it with only 1 decimal point or with 4 decimal points? Whatever it is you want, you can use these, and all of a sudden there. I just drag this guy down, pop, 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 pop. There we go. Oh, there's a trick there. Why does it say 100%? Watch this. Remember I told you can double click and find out what it's calculating? It's calculating this divided by the sum of this. Wait a minute, we don't want that. We want this divided by the sum of this. So I can either retype the formula every time, say, hey, I want to divide it by the sum of, get rid of that, and do this. You could do that every time. Because when you drag it down, it's taking this divided by sum box and moving it down with you. So you could recalculate it every time, or you could pay a little money to have it not do that. And what I say by paying money is I'm going to pay some rent on this box here. Say, hey, cell, when I drag you down, I'm going to give you some money to not change. Put a $sign, and it'll, when I drag it down, it'll always stay this box. Watch this. So hit return. Now watch. Drag, 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 drag. Now, what did it do? it changed this, the C6 changed. Up here was C3, C4, C5, C6. Those changed, but this never changed from C3 to C6 because I put dollar signs in there. So that range stayed the same. So if I did the same thing here, if I said C3 with a dollar sign and dragged it down, it would stay C3 the whole time, right? But I don't want that. I want the C3 to go ahead and change. So I go pop, 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 pop. There you go. It's kind of slick, right? Now this is crazy. Like, remember, this is which of the 50 states is your favorite to visit. Well, people didn't use a multiple choice for that. They got to type in whatever they wanted. So now I'm like, well, gosh, what am I going to do? Check this out. In this cell, hey, cell, you equal unique. Hey, cell, you equal unique open range. So I go over here and I go, every unique word that's in here, I want you to capture. Now, if I capture all of it, it'll type in that. Well, I don't want that. I'm going to start at D1. Nope, D2. See, now look, starts right there at D2, D2. So I started at D2 all the way through the end of D. So it goes on forever. And you notice like multiple people said Alaska. So I'm only going to get the unique responses, meaning Alaska is only going to pop up once. Why would I want that? Watch this. Hey, which of the 50 states is your favorite to visit? Alaska's only on there once. Well, let's do that count if formula again. You equal count if, open parenthesis, go to that range, click on there, comma, go back to here, and say Alaska. So now it's counted how many people said Alaska. But over here, it's only one time because this is just a unique. And then when somebody types in California, it'll pop up down here. It'll just keep popping up. And we take the same formula. We go, hey, pop, pop, whoop, pop, 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 whoop. Cool, right? If you go one over, you get a 0 because no times did anybody say that, right? And then let's go over here. Let's get the percent of total. So hey, you equal this divided by, again, make it a percentage, bring it back, boom, boom, boom. Whoops, forgot to pay rent. Very cool. Okay, the query. It's a very powerful formula right here, you guys. You're gonna dig this. Okay, query's a little complicated, but it's super cool. Because what if you wanted to go look inside of a database? Say you got like tons of information, like huge spreadsheets, and like Gloria's on here 10 times. You know, it's like a big spreadsheet, let's say. Let's build a query, right? We're going to say, hey, let's query this data table and bring back this person's email address, right? So we go, hey, cell, you equal query. What are you going to query? We're going to query this data table. I'm grabbing the whole thing. Ticka, 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 ticka. Got it, right? Then I'm going to say, hey, in parentheses, I'm going to say, select, I'm going to select a column, like select F, whatever's in column F, where C contains, and you want to say contains this, right? Because I want to drag it down. The way you tell it, because we're inside of a parenthesis right now, you go hyphen, quote, and sign. Then you can click on that A3, and you got to undo it, right? Quote, hyphen, parenthesis, parenthesis. So those little hyphens tell it, oh, we're going to have some quotes inside here. Oh, I forgot to put the and sign there. You get it? So it's hyphen, quote, and the cell name, and quote hyphen, right? That gets us in and gets us out. And you see as we finish out that formula, it already shows you, hey, this kid's got 3.6. There it is. And we drag it down. Now, we've queried for every kid and pulled over their GPA. Okay. So let's use data validation to create a drop-down menu and protect a range. I think you'll dig this. You'll find cool uses for this. So using data validation, I went ahead and put everybody's name here, but this could be on a different sheet as well. And I said, hey, we're going to have a party. And I create a little drop-down where you can select your name and, bring a couple things to the party. But I also created ranges here that other people can't click on. Now I can because I'm the editor, but no one else could click on that if I protected it. So let me show you how to do that. Let's go over here, over data validation, and let's remove the validation. Okay, it's gone. So I say, hey, I created this list. I want to create each of these cells with a data validation dropdown. Click on the cell. I say, hey, data validation. Pick from a list. The criteria. I want to pick from a range. What range? I want to pick from this range. Right, so whatever's in this is going to be part of my dropdown now. Okay. And then show in a drop-down list in a cell. Show a warning if someone tries to type in there anything other than the drop-down, or you can have them reject the input. And I'm going to hit save. So now this guy's got this drop-down, and if I try to type in there, hello. Oh, there's a warning. This has got some data validation rules. You can't use that. Oh, okay. Now, we can also just drag this down, data validate all that, but like I need more soda and chips than I need napkins. So I could grab soda and chips and say, well, I need like 5 of those. Napkins, I only need the 1 stack. Side dish, I need like 3 of those. Salads, right? Main dish. Desserts, always lots of desserts. Wait a minute now. Whoops. Now here's the thing. What if more people want to bring cups and plates and I don't want them to? Okay, so there are some ranges that we don't want people typing in, like I don't need a bunch of napkins. So we got a bunch of ranges we don't want people typing in, so I don't need a bunch of napkins. So I'm gonna go, hey, data, protect range. This range? Totally. Set permissions, restrict who can edit this range. Only me. Now I could add people, which is kind of slick, like only me and my friend, right? But okay, I protected that range. Whoops. I'm going to take this, whoops. Add another one, do this range. There we go. Then of course, we could do all this down here too, which is what I would probably do if I was doing this sheet. Cool. Let's go take a look. So over here on my other account, I've got edit rights, but do I have the ability to type in it? Oh, can't do that. How about over here? Can I type in here? Nope, can't do that. So there you go. That takes care of that. Okay, I think we kind of hit the end there. I'm not sure how long we've gone, but there it is. There's kind of my intro to Google Sheets with all the little things you need to know. I hope that was useful. If you want to find me, you can find me at learnwithjohnike.com and find all my sessions that I do out there on the tour.